Hello everyone, it's Anna, also known as Book Anna, and today I have another new releases video, this time for month of May. I'm going to tell you a short synopsis of the book, I'm going to tell you when it will come out, and I will tell you what genre it is. First book that I have is going to come out May 1st, and that would be Pig by Matilde Pratesi. This one is literary fiction, and synopsis says, pigs are Valentine's safe place. When she's feeling overwhelmed, she lists breeds until her mind becomes quiet again. Sometimes Whale's colleagues invite her to drinks, but she never goes. She knows that Clara wouldn't be happy if Whale socialized with others. As Clara's told her plenty of times, who else would put up with her weird pig facts? Shortlisted for the Caledonian Novel Award, Pig is a razor-sharp, disturbing novel about toxic female friendship unlike any other. Starting with toxicity, yay! As you will be able to see, there's a lot of literary fiction, a lot of sci-fi. There's just a lot of sci-fi that is coming out in May, which I wasn't aware that May was a month for sci-fi. Also, one thing I wanted to say, I know that I list like a bunch of books here, and I then, at the end of like my month, what I read this month, there aren't a lot of books that I listed because for me it's very difficult to get to all of those books because first, I don't have a library that will get these books. Second, the bookstore might, but usually months after the release of the book. So if I'm going to get them, I have to order them, and usually if I will order them as they come out, they're going to be hardbacks or like those big paperbacks that cost more than 20 euros, which I cannot afford for myself, so I just kind of wait a bit. So you will probably see most of these books reviewed next year. This year I'm going to read the books that came out last year mostly. So the next book I have is Overgrowth by Mira. Now, next few books all come out May 6th. This one is horror sci-fi, and this one says, Annihilation meets Day of the Triffids in this full-on body horror alien invasion apocalypse. Since she was 3 years old, Anastasia Miller has been telling anyone who would listen that she's an alien disguised as a human being, and that the armada that left her on Earth is coming for her. Since she was 3 years old, no one has been willing to listen. I have yet to read a book about alien invasion. I just got one, but I still have not read it. The next book I have is Shopgirls by Jessica Anya, and then I'm not gonna pronounce her last part of the name because I'm just going to pronounce it wrong. I know that I cannot pronounce this. This one is historical fiction, and this one says, 19 years old, Zippy can hardly believe she's the newest and youngest salesgirl at I. Mannin, San Francisco's finest department store. Every week, she rotates her 3 Sprouse Up Salvation Army outfits and Vaseline Shine pumps. Still, she's thrilled to walk those pumps through the employee entrance 5 days a week as she saves to buy something new. Set in the day-glow colors of 1980s San Francisco, Shopgirls is an intoxicating novel of self-discovery, outrageous fashion, and family, both biological and found. The next book that I have is another historical fiction, but this time it is with a bit of magic realism. This one is My Name is Emilia de Valle by Isabel Allende, and it's translated by Frances Riddle. In San Francisco, 1866, an Irish nun left pregnant and abandoned following a torrid relationship with a Chilean aristocrat gives birth to a daughter named Emilia de Valle. Raised by a loving stepfather, Emilia grows into an independent thinker and a self-sufficient young woman. To pursue her passion for writing, she is willing to defy social norms. As she proves herself, her restlessness returns until an opportunity rises to cover a brewing civil war in Chile. She seizes it, along with Eric, and while there, begins to uncover the truth about her father and the country that represents her roots. The next one is also historical fiction, and this one is The Names by Florence Knapp. In the wake of a catastrophic storm, Cora sets off with her 9-year-old daughter Maya to register her son's birth. Her husband, Gordon, a local doctor respected in the community but a terrifying and controlling presence at home, intends for her to name the infant after him. But when the register asks what she'd like to call the child, Cora hesitates. With exceptional sensitivity and depth, Knapp draws us into the story of one family, told through a prism of what-ifs, causing us to consider the one precious life we are given. To be honest, this one sounds like a classic. I mean, I feel like if any book from this list will become classic in the future, this is the one. The next one I have is Gothic Horror Mystery, and this one is The Manor of Dreams by Christina Lee. Vivian Yin is dead. Now her remaining family members are gathered for the reading of her will, and her daughters expect to inherit their childhood Vivian's grand, sprawling Southern California garden estate. But due to a last-minute change to the will, the house is passed on to another family instead. One that has suddenly returned after decades of estrangement. Told in dual timelines spanning 3 generations and brimming with romance, betrayal, ambition, and sacrifice, The Manor of Dreams is a thrilling family gothic that examines the true costs of the American dream and what happens when the roots we set down in this country turn to rot. Dum dum dum. Last month and the month before that, a lot of vampire books were coming out that I was interested in, and this month I don't think there's even one. The next one is The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. I think this is the only that is going to be part of the series because all of the others I feel like are standalones. It's going to come out 6th of May or 13th of May, so I'm not sure, but it's coming out in May. And this one is a dark fantasy, as Joe Abercrombie does. I put the whole synopsis here because it's very short. So I just put the whole. Brother Diaz has been summoned to the sacred city where he is certain a commendation and grand holy assignment awaits him. But his new flock is made up of unrepentant murderers, practitioners of ghastly magic, and outright monsters. The mission he's tasked with will require bloody measures from them all in order to achieve the righteous ends. Elves lurk at our borders and hunger for our flesh, while greedy princes care for nothing but their own ambition and comfort. With a hellish journey before him, it's a good thing Brother Diaz has the devils on his side. I still have not read anything by Joe Abercrombie, by the way, but I intend to. The next one I have is Below the Grand Hotel by Scully. This one is historical gothic fantasy. The Great Gatsby meets Hellraiser in this 1920s horror novel of glitz, glamour, and demons. Mabel Rose Dixon will do anything to become a seeker-filled girl, including picking the pockets of the wealthy NYC elite to find her way to stardom. When she picks the wrong pocket, Mabel loses her soul to a hotel run by demons and tumbles into the world of the Grand Hotel, a place where any artist can make it big. I love The Great Gatsby and I love books set in 20s, so I feel like this one could be very good. The next one is Sympathy for Wild Girls Stories. This one is a short story collection and it's by Demree McGhee. Skirting the chasms that lurk in our common notions of girlhood and their heightened peril for queer women of color, Demree McGhee's characters track the prints of their desire and paint at the edges of reality, finding refuge in unlikely places. Fighting self-loathing and societal abuse, they explore the bounds of their feral strength and ugliest truths. Howling at the Moon to be known. We are now on May 8th, and here I believe there are only 2 books in this date. First one is Slags by Emma Jane Unsworth, and this one is literary fiction. Slag, noun, a promiscuous woman of cheap or questionable character, mostly derogatory, sometimes affectionate. Takes one to know one. Sisters Sarah and Juliet are going on a whiskey-fueled campervan road trip across Scotland to celebrate Juliet's birthday, and they're going to dig up some demons from the past. This one just sounds like those UK teen series that were popular in like early 2000s and 2010s, for example, like Skins. It kind of reminds me of that. I don't know why, but it just has that feeling. The next one is Lush by Rochelle Dowden-Lord. This one is literary fiction. This one has an amazing cover. It's so materialistic, the cover. It looks so capitalistic and materialistic, and the colors are so beautiful, and I just like it a lot. 4 wine experts receive a mysterious invitation to an exclusive weekend tasting at a famous French vineyard. Unfolding over several days of indulgence in delicious food and drink, raucous debauchery, and transformative truths that will leave each character's changed forever. Lush is a sensuous store of the wine industry's extreme pleasures and pains, a captivating summer read that, like a fine vintage, will linger long after you finish turning the page. Okay, we are now on May 13th. First one is Awake in the Floating City by Susanna Kwan. This one is sci-fi dystopian fantasy. An utterly transporting debut novel about an unexpected relationship between an artist and 130-year-old woman she cares for. Two of the last people living in a flooded San Francisco of the future. The home neither is ready to leave. This one sounds like it could be very, very sad, to be honest. I'm not sure that I want to read it currently at the climate we're living in, but maybe one day. The next one is Sleep by Honor Jones. This one is another literary fiction. The story of a newly divorced young mother forced to reckon with the secrets of her own childhood when she brings her daughters back to the big house where she was raised. Warm and generous, unflinchingly human, and ultimately joyful and empowering, Sleep is about the cycles of motherhood and childhood, the cost of secrets and the burden of love, and what's on the other side of the world, rich in possibility. The next one is Immaculate Conception by Ling Huang. This one is a sci-fi horror thriller, and the cover of this one is also such a good portrait. I love it. I think it's such a good, cool cover. Inca meets Matilde in art school and is instantly drawn to her. Matilde makes art that feels truly original, and Inca, trying hard to prove herself in this fiercely competitive world, pours everything into their friendship. But when Mathilde's fame and success causes her to begin drifting away, Inca becomes desperate to keep her close. Enter Scaffold. Appropriated to enhance empathy, this cutting-edge technology could allow Inca to inhabit Mathilde's mind and access her memories, artistic inspiration, and deep-seated trauma. This one just sounds like a Black Mirror episode, to be honest. And I love it. The Incandescent by Emily Tesh. This one is dark academia queer fantasy. Walden is good at her job. No, Walden is great at her job. But the demons are masters of manipulation. It's her responsibility to keep her school with its 600 students and centuries-old legacy safe. But it's possible the entity Walden most needs to keep her school safe from is herself. I have a lot of dark academia books that I like. I have a lot of dark academia books that I didn't think were good. So we'll see about this one. The next one is Bachika by Caroline Flores. I'm going to let the last part of her name be unpronounced wrongly. This one is gothic horror historical mystery. Tragedy strikes when Antonia's mother takes a fatal fall into El Salto and her father, consumed by grief, attempts to burn the house down with Antonia still inside. 3 years later, haunted by disturbing dreams and cryptic journal entries from her late mother, Antonia is drawn back to her childhood home when it's converted into a luxurious hotel. As Antonia confronts her fragmented memories and the dark history of the estate, she wrestles with unsettling question: was her mother's death by her own hands, or was it by someone else? This one gives me Mexican Gothic vibe. Then I have another short story collection. These ones are horror sci-fi fantasy short stories, and it's Portalomania stories by Debbie Urbanski. Portals are not only doorways found in children's classics, but separations, escapes, dead ends, desolations, and choices that will change these characters' lives forever. What if we're not the ideal parents for our children? What if we're not the ideal person to live our own life? Portalomania questions why we love as we do and asks if we have enough courage to imagine desire. Then I have Metallic Realms by Lincoln Michel. This one is sci-fi fantasy. Behind the greatest multiverse ever created, there are the all too moral people who wrote it. As Michael chronicles the personal melodramas of the Orb Four as well as the funhouse reflections in their fiction, the line between real and unreal becomes dangerously thin, and the true reason for the group's fallout begins to emerge. As he labors away in hiding, Michael has just wanted to bring the metallic realms into the world, no matter the cost. This one sounds like the other book that came out this year. How is it called? Something author. I'm going to put it here so you know what I'm talking about. I don't really remember the name, but it sounds like also that one was also like kind of sci-fi that it becomes reality or something. We now have one that is coming out May 15th. This one is The Book of Guilt by Catherine Chitgay. This one is dystopian literary fiction. England, 1979. Vincent, Lawrence, and William are the last remaining residents of a secluded New Forest home, part of the government's Sycamore scheme. Every day the triplets do their chores, play their games, and take their medicine under the watchful eyes of three: Mother Morning, Mother Afternoon, and Mother Night. Gradually surrendering its dark secrets, The Book of Guilt is a profoundly unnerving exploration of belonging in a world where some lives are valued less than others. Okay, the next one is the book that I'm so excited about, and this one is the one that I'm most excited about for May. I've been waiting for this book to come out since it was released, since the cover was released and since the synopsis was released. I don't know when, but I've been waiting for this book for a long time and I'm so happy, and this is the one that I'm going to try to get my hands on as fast as possible. It's The Starving Saints by Kathleen Starling. This one comes out May 20th. This is historical queer horror fantasy, and I put a bit longer synopsis in this one because I just, oh my god, it sounds so good. Eymar Castle has been under siege for 6 months. Food is running low and there has been no sign of rescue. But just as the survivors consider deliberately thinning their number, the castle stores are replenished. The sick are healed, and the divine figures of the Constant Lady and her saints have arrived, despite the barricaded gates offering succor in return for adoration. As the castle descends into Bacchanalian madness, forgetting the massed army beyond its walls in favor of hedonistic ecstasy, 3 women are the only ones to still see their situation for what it is. But they are not immune from the temptations of the castle's new masters, or each other, and their shifting alliances and tangled paths bring violence to the surface. To save the castle and themselves will take a reimagining of who they are and the organization of the very world itself. I just love medieval set books. I just love medieval setting books. I'm so excited about any kind of medieval setting book. Then I have Food Person by Adam D. Roberts. This one is foodie comedy fiction. I don't know what it means, but it's about food, I guess. A delectable comedy of manners about cooking, ambition, and friendship set in the food world as a young and socially awkward writer takes a job ghostwriting the cookbook for a famous, infamously chaotic Hollywood starlet. Then I have another one that I'm excited about because it's retelling Sweeney Todd, which is one of my favorite musicals, if not my favorite musical ever, and that would be The Butcher's Daughter, the hitherto untold story of Mrs. Lovett by Corinne Leigh Clark and David Demchuk. I'm not sure if it's going to come out 20th of May or 6th of May, but it's coming out in May. It's horror gothic historical retelling. London, 1887. At the abandoned apartment of a missing young woman, the dossier of evidence is collected, ordered chronologically, and sent to the Chief Inspector of the London Metropolitan Police. It contains a frightening correspondence between an inquisitive journalist, Miss Emily Gibson, and the woman Gibson thinks may be the infamous Mrs. Lovett, Sweeney Todd's accomplice, a wicked woman who baked men into pies and sold them in her pie shop on Fleet Street. Talk of London town, even decades after her horrendous misdeeds. As the woman relays the harrowing account of her life, from her upbringing on Butcher's Row in the unruly streets of Victorian London to her daring escape from a mad doctor, her missive unlock an intricate mystery that brings Miss Gibson closer to the truth, even as that truth may cost her everything. And the last 2 books, oh my god, I'm so fast. The last 2 books that are coming out are both coming out 27th of May, and the first one is The Stalker. This one is just fiction. An intelligent Mr. Ripley, a dumb American psycho, a young man combines boundless self-confidence with perpetual failure and ineptitude as he tries to manipulate his way into a better life, preying on women in New York City in the early 90s. Fans of true crime podcasts about con men like Dirty John and Who the Hell is Hamish will revel in this novel and its portrait of the sociopath as a young loser. As shocking as it's illuminating, The Stalker confirms Paula Boomer as a contemporary master of the pitch black comic novel. And the last one is Tell Them You Lied by Laura Leffler. This one is mystery thriller. Anna had never met anyone like Willow, entering art school with lofty ideas about art and her role in it, Anna was wholly unprepared for someone as mysterious, moody, and cool as Willow. Here was Anna's muse and collaborator all in one, ready to bring her in on art's great secrets. Alternating between the friends' art school tenure and their lives in 2001, New York, Tell Them You Lied reveals how difficult the search for answers is when you'd rather have anything but the truth. This one sounds like The Immaculate Conception, because it's both are like about friends and art. Okay, those are all the books that well, they're not all, but these are the books that I'm most excited. If I had to choose 5 that I'm most excited about, I would say The Starving Saints, definitely, The Book of Guilt, Shopgirls, and the 2 other, probably Lush and Buchika. So I hope you guys have some new books on your radar now, because I know I have like too many of them. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to do another one for the next month, and until then you have time to read all of the books that are gonna come out in May. So thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!